What's going on, guys? Black Scout Survival Midday Live, man. So I wanted to, 302. Someone said, yeah, I'm here, man. So I want to talk about, there's been some things going on, and a lot of people have opinions, man. Look, I'm not trying to pick a team, okay, but I want to point out some things that I've noticed, right? Because when the story gets emotional, right, messy, and everybody suddenly has a script, I started asking questions, and you probably should too. So, Erika, Kirk, and Candace Owens met privately yesterday, and both called it productive. Candace says nothing was held back. Now, if you want to go back a few weeks ago, or I think it was last week, Erika Kirk went on and she was questioned directly about a lot of things, and one of those was Candace Owens, and she was kind of upset about it, right? And they were trying to nudge it. They were trying to nudge it, and they did. They nudged it quite well. But Candace said nothing was held back. She's supposed to do a show on it today. It hasn't came out yet. As far as I checked, Erika says it helped thaw tensions. Okay, cool. But what happens around that meeting is what I'm watching for. Now, here's what we know. Candace and Erika did a private sit down. Now, if you recall, TPUSA tried to schedule a live broadcast with Candace, and the dates just didn't match up. Things didn't work out. And apparently they said that it was done on purpose, so Candace could not make it in time, right? But anyhow, this meeting, both said that was very productive. And Candace says she'll do a full rundown later. That's the official line. Okay. Here's a video of Candace here after she had got done with it.
4.5 hours later, I'm alive. I'm totally fine, and I'm sorry. I was going to do a show for you guys this evening, but I am truly exhausted. Very productive conversation. I asked every single question. I mean, from Egyptian planes to Turning Point USA Faith, and I was very surprised by some of the answers that I got, and I think they were also very surprised when I shared certain intel. This probably should have happened a very long time ago, but I wanted to let you guys know that I am alive, and I will have the full rundown for you guys tomorrow of what transpired. And yeah, I think it's,
Candace said that she feels like it should have happened a long time ago. The thing is, I don't think they allowed the opportunity, really. What I've noticed from TPUSA and everybody within that camp is that they've tried to shut down narrative. Anybody question it, that Tyler Robinson is the guy, and hey, mum's the word. So I have never saw an opportunity like that, right? But let's talk about why this is a big deal. Because the internet doesn't do private resolutions. The internet does blood sport, right? Now, I want you to drop a 1 in the comments if you think this is a real reconciliation. Drop 2 if you think this is some sort of damage control. Okay, let me see in the comments. I'm curious what you're looking at. Now, I want to dial it back. If you recall, I did a video a few months ago about a kid named Hunter Kozak. Hunter Kozak, if you recall, was the guy that last questioned Charlie as soon as he got shot. Hunter Kozak, I showed in a video that was doing the exaggerated movement, essentially rehearsing what he was going to do when Charlie got shot, is what it looked like to me. I also found out that Hunter Kozak's father worked for Jimmy Kimmel Show. You can go watch that video. I'll put the link at the end so you can watch it. But now we've got this Hunter Kozak moment, right? Again, he's the guy tied to the last question exchange before Charlie Kirk's murder. He shows up at Erika Kirk's town hall that she has. Ask Erika on national TV, will you condemn Trump's violent rhetoric? Here's my question. Look at it. Here we go.
Was a Utah Valley student named Hunter Kozak. He was asking Charlie a question that day when he was shot, and he's here tonight, and he wants to ask you a question.
Hi there. Erika, I want to tell you how much I appreciate your calls for peace and unity, And I'm likewise horrified by the people in my so-called camp who were cheering about Charlie's murder. I believe that they stoke the flames of violence. But even worse is when powerful, influential people on either side of the aisle stoke the flames. When they do it, the flames can become an inferno. And this leads me to Donald Trump, the most powerful and influential person on earth, who has more responsibility than anyone else to put the flames out. Just last month, President Trump called on 6 Democratic lawmakers to be tried for sedition, which he clarified was punishable by death. He then reposted a simple message: hang them. I think that you've been making strides to bring peace to our country, and that turning point has been asking Democrats to decry the individuals who cheer for violence. I have and will continue to decry them. But any good faith effort to stop political violence must hold both parties to the same standard and expectation. So in that spirit, will you condemn the violent rhetoric of Donald Trump, the most powerful and influential person on earth?
I appreciate your question. You know my heart. Why would I ever say, yes, go murder people?
All right, before
Eric,
I'm going to let her answer the question here in a second, but my question for the viewers here is, why that question? Why do you think that is? Tell me in the comments. Why that framing? Okay. Why is the pressure always to condemn this person instead of condemn political violence across the board? Right. So it was a targeted question instead of asking the real question. Let me know in the comments. Right. Thanks, Tennessee Outlaw, brother. Thank you. But yeah, answer that question for me. I'll let her finish here.
So in
yes, go murder people. This is so much deeper than just one. I understand your sentiment. I do. But this is also so much deeper than just one person. This starts at the home, okay? This starts with family. This starts with a seed that grows and grows. You can choose to have evil in your heart, or you can choose to have light. What you consume and what you absorb from the outside world will manifest itself. No, I will never agree with political violence. My husband is a victim.
So, you know, in the Bible, it talks about the pearls before swine. This is a situation like that. I wouldn't even entertain this guy's question. Matter of fact, I'd get up and walk out. But more importantly, I probably would not even be in the studio to begin with if my partner had just been, my husband or wife had just been brutally murdered. And this prick asked me this question. I would, but maybe I'm just cut from a different cloth. Erika's response is she basically says she'll never agree with political violence. She doesn't, say Trump's name, which shows you right there. This isn't about clarity. It's about forcing a headline is what this is, because this was not about Donald Trump. That whole sit down was not about Donald Trump, but for them to throw that out there, they see if they get a bite. That's what that was. It's forcing a headline, right? When people demand a ritual condemnation, they're not seeking truth. They're seeking control. Exactly what Hunter Kozak was put up to. I believe Hunter Kozak is some bought and paid for, to be honest. I do. He's always in the midst of these things. He did the interview right after and was going down this tangent about various things. And then he says Mick, and then he pretends he doesn't know what he said. It just seems all odd to me. And I don't know if he's talking about military industrial complex. I don't know what he was talking about, but it was all odd. Okay. The other thing I find quite odd, and maybe this is just me, but you add in this other piece that Erika's been doing media rounds. There's a book angle, a legacy angle, Charlie Kirk's last book. That's a normal thing to do. I'm not going to say that's not normal, but here's where it feels off. Timing matters, man. Grief, spotlight, narrative warfare. Perfect storm for manipulation, if you want to say the least. I think it's odd. I do. I also think it's odd about the video of holding her phone here and videoing her touching Charlie's hand and then posting online. I just don't know. Okay. It's odd. Now, just to keep it fair, I'm not attacking Erika for promoting a new book. I'm saying the machine uses moments like this. Let's say Erika Kirk is completely innocent in this. She really is the strongest widow ever made. But I can assure you there are people in the background prompting her to do this anyway. And at some point, let's say I'm in this organization, they're like, hey, we need to capitalize in this moment to push this because it's so fresh. I'd have to say negative. We're not going to do that. We're going to take a moment of silence at the very minimum. Okay. Not going on the fireworks stage the next week. Not going on a podcast, not even less than a week saying I'm so excited. These sort of things, we'd have to take a pause, right? Tactical pause. Just my opinion. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen this, but if you saw the video that I just played of Candace, you've got internet doing what internet does. Candace came back a clone, they're saying. Because Candace said that in the video, it was her on her IG, and now you see all these bot accounts saying that Candace came back a clone. Okay, relax, internet, relax, right? But that's not even the point. The point is when people are primed to believe anything, they become programmable. So that's what we're saying. People are programmable. They'll call everything a conspiracy now, right? Some of these people aren't conspiracy theorists. They think they are. They're just emotionally unemployed is what they are. Okay. Now, I want to show you 2 days before Charlie was murdered, he said this.
Spiritual battle is coming to the West, and the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life.
Exactly that.
And the American way of life is very simple. I want to be able to get married, buy a home, have kids, allow them to ride their bike till the sun goes down, send them to a good school, have a low crime neighborhood, not to have my kid be taught the lesbian, gay, transgender garbage in their school, while also not having them have to hear the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day. That's important. We want the American way of life, which is, by the way, Christendom.
That.
Christians, our sacrifice, our toil, our vision, the outgrowth of the scriptures gave us Western civilization. And this is where I think is a great rallying cry. Doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, doesn't matter if you're Asian, doesn't matter if you're black or white. Everybody, if you are Christian and Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, these two threats are combining forces to come after us.
What someone just said in the chat I posted up is that Charlie's book is about taking a pause, right? This is the time to take a pause, man, in my opinion, right? I wouldn't care who was pushing me or saying that we need to do this for the money, this and that. This is the prime time. If my husband or wife had just got brutally murdered, I'd have to say, no, we're not going to do this. We're not making this a cash cow, right? But it's one of those things that not everybody's built the same. Not a lot of people are able to stand up to these strong organizations and so on. The other thing I find the odd thing is that weeks leading to Charlie Kirk's murder is that he was questioning things. And I understand Charlie Kirk, as he just said, he's a Christian. Okay. And TPUSA, as I understand, is a Christian organization. Why the sudden shift to another religion? I don't understand that. I don't get it at all. A religion that denies Christ. And you'll hear here, this is during the media tour that just happened. This was asked.
That anti-Semitism.
Yeah, so we're all of our college campus and high school campuses, we have these conversations. And our students understand exactly my heart and Charlie's heart and the sentiment of everything I just said. We have Shabbat dinner happening at AmFest. We have individuals in our chapters who are Jewish. We have people that are going to be having booths. We have an exhibit hall at AmFest that are Jewish, that have Jewish organizations. The only way to combat evil, just like Charlie did, is with dialogue and not being.
Yeah, man. I don't know about doing religious practices to other religions, being a Christian or any religion practicing other religious things. You know, especially I've been a Christian my entire life, and I just recall back in the day growing up, I did martial arts my entire life, all different types and styles. But I remember in my early days, like the Tao symbol was used a lot in martial arts, and I remember getting talked to about it because I would wear one because of like the Tao of Jeet Kune Do written by Bruce Lee, saying that this was Confucianism. You're, you know, obviously wearing something from a different religion by Christians. And so, and that's the symbol with the white and the black and the dots, basically, that good is in bad, bad is in good, or dark is in light, light is in dark, this and that. But, you know, why you would practice other religions being a organization. Now, a lot of people I see in the chat is saying that maybe Candace was bald, or maybe Candace was told some truths that maybe we don't know. Maybe Charlie's still alive. I don't know. People have said it. I don't really think so, but people have said it. People have said it. A lot of people have asked me what my opinion is. Man, I did countless videos on what I think happened here in this situation. I don't believe the official story at all. I don't believe it was Tyler Robson either. You can go watch my videos describing what I think happened. There's two outcomes that I've come down to with talking to experts in the field. And yeah. But, you know, I want to just touch on something that I've talked about quite a bit. I think that, you know, people miss this. Things about money. It's just like, let's say Erika Kirk is not the one wanting to promote the book, but her handlers are. Handlers being financial backers or whatever. They're pushing her to go do these sit downs. Okay, maybe it's not her intentionally. Maybe she's being forced to do it. You don't know in these big circles, dude, how these things work. Now, there's a clip going around where comedian John Crist is basically saying what I've been saying, what I believe that the WWE is what we're saying, is that he went to a Tucker party. He saw Candace Tucker there, Marjorie Taylor Greene, TPUSA, and got the vibe that the world is a stage and everybody is friendly behind the scenes. That's the claim that's circulating, right? Listen.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is there. Wow. Candace Owens is there. Mm-hmm. And I go, Lydia, Candace Owens is here. She's like, what? Well, I go, Candace is here. She goes, tell her I'm reading her book. I go, not Candace Bure. Candace Owens is here. Yeah. She's like, what?
The other one.
The real one.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And then and then there's like a bunch of Turning Point people there. There's a bunch of like, I wrote down a list of everybody that I saw there. A bunch of comics were there. Brennan Shaw, Theo, a bunch of people, a bunch of MMA fighters in there. And I was like, I go, all right, this is what I always have thought about those kind of things. And I'll just say it out loud for everybody listening. And I've said this before in some kind of context. There was Turning Point people there, and Candace Owens was there. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson. I hate to say this out loud. Everybody friends. Everybody friends. Mm-hmm. And I've said that before.
First off, I love
and
how I love how dude says that. Hold on, let's get back.
Everybody friends. Mm-hmm. And I've said that before. Mm-hmm. And I go, I've heard before about Washington D.C. Mm-hmm. It's like we saw like the Democratic majority leader and like the Republican, they're at dinner. I go, yeah, everybody friends. Mm-hmm. And everybody, like, kind of in, like, we would see, like, let's say, like, Theo's good buddy of ours. He would be, like, doing something.
So he's saying Theo Vaughn. Theo Vaughn's in that inner circle. He knows. And what he's about to say now is that Theo Vaughn states it plain and clear what happens.
Like, oh, yeah, it's kind of just for the thing, mm-hmm. for their job. They mm-hmm. just kind of have to they kind of got to be on the sidelines and dump Gatorade on the coat. That's like kind of.
They're entertaining.
That's what their thing is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I go, wait, I thought you, because the thing he said about.
So, yeah, he's saying what a lot of us have been saying, man, is that these guys, they play a role. They make us believe that they're at war when they're really not. I told you, I thought it was crazy, man, when I saw video right after a few weeks after Trump had got elected. They were at the inauguration dinner, and Chuck Schumer and Trump were sitting there joking, like belly laughing with each other, sitting right beside each other at the table. And I thought maybe Chuck Schumer had kissed the ring. Obviously, that didn't happen because we've seen Chuck Schumer all kind of nonsense. But we've heard even the representative out of Tennessee, Tim Burchett. Is it Tim Burchett or Todd Burchett? Anyway, he says that he's friends with AOC. These sort of things happen, man. I think a lot of it's theatrics. I think a lot of what we see is theatrics. I remember hearing somebody a while back said, man, everything we were told is a lie. These elites run in circles, right? Shane, man, said I'm streaming too early. You gotta get your workout. Get your workout in, brother. Come back, man. Just hit the comments. But the thing is that a lot of people, right, have confirmed this fact. Okay, they confirmed this. They say the same things, right? I'm telling you that narrative is out there. That behind the scenes, everybody's friends. Now, but let's talk about the idea. Okay, what if the fighting is real for the audience, but optional for the people getting paid? Okay, but optional for the people getting paid. That's why I don't worship personalities. I watch incentives. I watch money. I watch access. Okay. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it, man. So, and Jesus Christ is King. Yes. Now, I want to know in the comments, do you think politics is 80% theater? Yes or no? Let's say 80%. Do you think it's 80% theater? Okay. Now, the enemy is that the system that turns you in your outrage into revenue is what it does, and your attention into a leash. Okay. And they don't care if you're team A or you're team B. They care if you're emotionally hooked. Right. So I always say it, man, my stance is simple. If narrative demands instant loyalty and zero questions, I don't trust it. That's why a lot of people give Candace they give her a bad rap because she's asking questions. I think I've gotten a bad rap over the years for asking questions. I question things, man. I'm sorry. I just don't follow blindly. I want to find the truth. I don't follow personalities. I don't follow none of that, Man, prime element. Hope you're in good, Black Scout, sitting here depressed. Don't be depressed, bro. Everything's going to be fine, man. And he says you're the closest thing to real Batman. I appreciate it, brother. That's very meaningful. Thank you, man. And I do love Batman. Batman don't have superpowers, so that's cool. But no weapon formed against you shall prosper, man. Remember that. Okay. But here's what we're going to do, okay? When Candace drops the full rundown, man, we'll review it like adults. Until then, I'm not picking sides. I'm just picking up patterns, okay? And if you want me to cover Zelensky tonight, after this upload, type Z in the chat, because I've got something on my chest for Zelensky after this BS, right? So let me know in the chat if you want me to burn Zelensky tonight, because I'm thinking about it. And you better watch it. Because I got a fire brewing about this summer, Anyway, there's a lot of somebody saying that Nick Fuentes goes to Candace Owens, she goes to Tucker Carlson backside, he spills some great tea, then goes kissing rings. It's true, dude. There's some knives out in this group lately, man. And I don't know, I try to think if it's by design. Let me know in the comments, do you think this is by design? Do you think they're trying to get infighting to flip midterms, to flip election, to flip society? To me personally, I try to ask, is everything a psychological operation? What's being used against me? We know the government does that. It's not declassified documents show that. We know this, man. It's not a joke. It's not some conspiracy theory. We know it's all by design. Seems like I'm going to burn Zelensky down in a little bit tonight. So anyway, guys, I want to know, answer all those questions for me in the chat, man. If you like this format, I kind of like this format a little bit better. A little bit more interactive. I think it's a little more fun. And if you're watching this on the replay, man, just type the stuff in there as well so we can see your answers. That way I can help me throttle your guys' ideas, because unlike a lot of influencers, I'm not an influencer, I'm just a regular guy. But I like to know what you guys think, right? What you think is important to me, because I don't know it all. I don't. I'd be lying if I did. Okay. Anyway, guys, if you like this, again, let me know. And I'm just trying to point out patterns, man. Ask questions. You know, if you need a hero to follow, man, you're on the wrong channel. Okay. Anyway, guys, I do appreciate you hanging out with me for this live, man. This was fun. And remember to stay frosty, stay straight, and always stay dangerous. Black Scout out.